One of my favorite parts of summer is finding simple ways to make the season last a little longer. This year, I brought home 30 pounds of blueberries from Troyer's, one box to enjoy right away, and two boxes to freeze for winter breakfast. With 8 kids, I've learned that some of the best grocery purchases aren't just about feeding everyone today, they're about making future meals easier too. So today I'm taking you along for a Troyer stock up, showing you what I bought for our family of 10 and how I'm turning these blueberries into memories now and breakfast later. Hi, I'm Amber, mom of 8. Welcome to Mama Simply. We're a family of 10 living in rural Indiana, and around here, I share simple rhythms, real food, and everyday life with 8 kids. If you enjoy grocery hauls, easy meals, large family life, and practical tips, I'd love to have you subscribe. There's always room for more around our table. Here at Troyer's, and I'm going to show you what all we got. I ran to Troyer's because it's one of my favorite places to stock up on bulk meat and pantry items for our family. But the one thing I was most excited about this trip was actually the blueberries. They had 10-pound boxes for only $27, and when I saw that price, I knew I wanted to bring some home for our family. We love blueberries around here, especially blueberry pancakes in the winter. So I decided to buy 3 boxes, one for us to enjoy fresh and 2 to freeze. Okay, we just finished up at Troyer's and I spent $516.21 at Troyer's, and we just loaded up. On the way home, we drove through the haze from the Canadian wildfires. It was such a strange reminder that even these ordinary days happen in the middle of bigger things going on around us. But honestly, these are the days I love documenting, just normal family life. I've got everything unloaded from the van, and this is my whole Troyer's haul. And let's talk about the star of this haul, the blueberries. I got 3 boxes, and these are 10-pound boxes, and I am really looking forward to everything that I'm going to do with this haul. And I'm going to show you step by step exactly, well, I guess item by item that I got. So let's jump right in, and I'm going to show you this first box is 40 pounds of chicken legs, and these are the jumbo chicken legs. And my plan is that we are going to use these for sheet pan meals. That's so easy. I'm just going to bag up the chicken and the chicken legs, and I just throw them on a sheet pan with some seasoned salt and some sides, and it's a super easy, quick dinner. And 40 pounds will probably last us about 4 meals or so. So each person usually eats 2 or 3. And then I grabbed a bunch of these cans of the canned peaches. These are actually the mandarin oranges. And my kids really like these mandarin oranges to have them with lunches. And if I let them, they'll have an entire can for lunch. And so these go pretty fast around here. These are a hot commodity. And also my kids really like the peach slices. So I grabbed all the cans that they had at Troyer's of the mandarin oranges and the peaches. And then next up, I got these pork roast, and this is a really good deal on the pork roast. So there are 2 of them in this package. and this is going to make 2 roast dinners. And then my plan is to use these, and I'll kind of separate the package a bit better here so you can see there are 2 roasts in here. And my plan is I'll put them in the crock pot, and then this will actually be multiple meals during the week that I make these. Roast one day, then we'll do tacos or pulled pork another day. I picked up 2 boxes of these Mott's fruit snacks. These were in the markdown bin. These were a little over $8. I don't know that that was really all that great of a deal for 40 packs. I probably can get them cheaper at Costco, but I took 2 little girls along with me, so that's what I got to appease people. And then I'm going to show you, I picked up these pork sausage patties, and so these will be for breakfast, and these are uncooked, and so these will just go in the freezer as is, and then we will cook them up for breakfast and can have those, making them like a really super easy breakfast. Then on the bottom here, these are the chicken nuggets, and I'll open this up because these are in a bag and show you here. So my kids really like the Troyer's chicken nuggets, and let me get this box opened up here and then I can show you a little bit better. So the chicken nuggets that I get from there, this is like a really, really cheap box of chicken nuggets, and the kids really like these. So I always pick a box. These are the cheapest that I have been able to find the chicken nuggets. So these are quick and easy meals that the kids can have, and it doesn't really require a whole lot for me, and I just have them on hand. Then I grabbed some hot dog buns to go with the hot dogs that I picked up from Costco, and I realized I was out of hot dog buns. And then I also was a sucker for marketing, and I found these in the markdown bin as well, and I grabbed these Pop-Tarts, and I thought those would be something the kids could have as a snack. Pretty easy cleanup. And then I grabbed 4 loaves total of the bread. The bread prices were okay, and that was really the only brand. And then now let's talk about the blueberries. So 3 boxes, that's 30 pounds of blueberries, and my plan is this one that is opened because the kids were already sampling them. Is going to be for us to eat. I'm also going to make a blueberry cobbler, and I'm going to show you that here later in the video, my blueberry cobbler recipe. And then the 2 here on the bottom, I'm going to freeze these, and I'm going to show you in this video how I freeze them. And then the ones that we have in the freezer will be for pancakes, blueberry pancakes, making cobblers, and stuff throughout the rest of the season and the year. So hopefully 3 boxes will be enough. I would love to know in the comments, just put in the comments, how long do you think it's going to take our family of 10 to eat this box of blueberries? Then when I was at Troyer's, I found this is my favorite coffee creamer, the Delight White Chocolate Raspberry. I also grabbed a bag of potatoes because they had a really good deal on the potatoes, so couldn't turn that down. And so that will be for just mashed potatoes, baked potatoes. And for the blueberries, I picked up these Ziploc bags, so that way I just freeze them and throw them into the individually packed bags. Makes storage so much easier. I picked up a 10-pound roll of the hamburger, and this was the best price that I have found for hamburger. Really good deal on that, and cost me about $50. So these are unfortunately the best deals that you can get on ground beef these days, but I'm also going to cut up the ground beef and put it into packages, probably about 2 pounds for our family. So 5 meals for that, for tacos and things. And then they also had a restock of the beef tips. And this is the best deal that I find on the beef tips. And so I still have some left from my last haul, but I grabbed another box because you never know when they're going to carry them at Troyer's. It's always kind of hit or miss. But this box here is about 30 pounds, just shy of 30 pounds. And I use about, depending on what I make, about 2 packages per meal. And I'm going to use these for tacos, for nachos, for beef stir fry, beef tips with gravy. So many possibilities there with the beef tips. And then I also picked up this case of eggs. And this, you might be saying, is a whole ton of eggs. And these are the super jumbo eggs. And this will last us probably about a month. And there are 13 dozen eggs in there. So this is the best deal that I found on eggs. And these are cheaper than the Costco eggs. And little Miss Evelyn is just really enjoying her blueberry treat. One thing that I have learned is that feeding a large family isn't about making every meal complicated. It's about having the ingredients ready so you can show up for your people. And I'm going to show you my blueberry cobbler prep here. And since we had so many fresh blueberries, I wanted to make a blueberry cobbler. And again, I'm terrible with the measuring, but I did follow a recipe and I can put it in the comments for you. But I used flour, sugar, a little bit of baking powder. I didn't have lemon, so I improvised with a drop of orange essential oil, and I put in some vanilla, and I mixed all of that together. And then I'm also going to show you here a little bit of salt and some baking powder. I love recipes like this because they don't have to be complicated. They are just simple ingredients coming together, and then everyone gathers around the table. So I'm just going to put this on top, and the blueberries I have mixed with sugar and a little bit of flour, and that will help give them some flavor, kind of cut that tartness, and the flour will help with all those juices, kind of making them a bit more thicker and not quite so runny. So I'm going to put this on top, and then the next step is to add butter over the top. So I have my melted butter all ready to go. So I'm going to put this, just pouring it on over the top. And this is 1 stick of butter because butter just makes everything better. And so that's going to make this top crust just really, really good and really buttery and really flaky. And I have my oven set at 360. So these berries are going to go in the oven, and it'll take about an hour. I'll check it and see if it's ready to go, if the top is nice and browned. And then we'll have this with ice cream. So yeah, I was right. It was about an hour cooking time, and I pulled this out, and it smells so good. You can really smell the blueberries. And then I also had my husband pick up this, when you have a large family, you get the bucket of ice cream. Those little tiny containers of ice cream just are not going to cut it. And so we have the bucket of the vanilla ice cream because my husband insists that when you have pie or when we have cobbler or cake or really any kind of dessert, it's just not really the same unless you have it with ice cream. So I would love to know in the comments if you agree with my husband that those types of desserts are always better with ice cream. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter. It's great, but I would not make a special trip to the store just to get ice cream. But for for my husband, that is just not acceptable to serve cobbler or pie or cake without having the ice cream. And I'm going to dish this up for the kids. And Andrew got the first helping, and he was really, really excited. And he said, "Thank you." And he's just so sweet and precious. And everybody's coming in now because they know that it's time for ice cream and for the blueberry cobbler, and they could smell it. And we are having a movie night tonight. I got the movie Treasure Island. It's an older movie, but I got that from the library. And so we're going to have ourselves some of this delicious cobbler and ice cream. And then everybody's going to gather around and we're going to watch the old version of Treasure Island. So I have the kids all served and dished up, and just getting a couple here. And even the dog is so excited. She wants to know what all the excitement is about, and she wants to try some for herself as well. So around here, this is just kind of real life, and this is just how we roll. There's just lots of kids. There's a dog, there's a cat around here somewhere, and I'm just gonna get everybody their blueberry cobbler and get this all scooped up here, and get my husband a healthy portion of his blueberry cobbler and ice cream. And this is just one of those things that I love about these kinds of desserts. Just having seasonal food is just so nice to be able to enjoy it right away. And this is probably one of the best ways for us to enjoy this food. Okay, and like I said earlier in the video, we did not eat all of those 30 pounds of blueberries. I washed these blueberries up and separated them out. This makes them so easy to go into individual bags, and that bag is open. So apparently people have been helping themselves and sampling them. But I'm going to put these frozen blueberries into these individual baggies. These will be for blueberry pancakes that we can have later on. And so the nice thing about the seasonal food and storing it is that we can enjoy it later on. We don't have to consume the whole thing, but it is kind of nice when we do have fresh fruit, then it can get enjoyed right away. And Evelyn is my little helper, and you can see her little fingers there going for the blueberries. She was so excited about these blueberries. Fresh blueberries never last very long around here. And this is one of those little moments that I really want to remember and treasure. Nothing fancy, just a summer afternoon and a little girl enjoying something very simple, just a little blueberry snack. And that's all it takes to keep her happy. All right, so I have that tray of blueberries all bagged up. I'm going to get that put away and get these put in here. And, dropped a couple, so that's okay. Those blueberry boxes actually came in really handy just for storing them. And I'm going to get that larger bag sealed up. Those are the snacking ones, but these little baggies come in super handy for those blueberry pancakes that we're going to have later on. There is something so special about opening your freezer months later and finding a little piece of summer just waiting for you. For our family, food is more than just what's on the plate. It's the moments around the table, the conversations, and the memories we're making. And months went from now, when it's cold and blustery, we're going to remember just a simple box of blueberries that became dessert, breakfast, and a reminder of this season with our family. Thanks for joining us for another day of simple rhythms, real food, and everyday life with our family of 10. We'll see you in the next video.